Hey, what's going on, my friends? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victor, and today I'm going to share with you 5 things I think you should know about this super powerful new moon going down on May 4th, 2019. This is a time of major breakthroughs. More specifically, stepping in to the master's role. I know a lot of you watching this are probably tired, probably sick of all this transformation, this relentless stretching outside of your comfort zone time and time again. When will it end? Where is it going? It's going here. It's going into this moment. It's going into your transformation into the master you came to exemplify here on the planet at this very special and highly charged and unique time in history. I can't help but reference one of my favorite television shows, The Game of Thrones. A lot of the main characters who are now knights and kings and queens have been through the most, have gone through just unspeakable challenges and adversity that you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy. But now it's the season, the show's almost done, it's the last season, and there's a particular look in the eyes of the queens and the kings and the knights and the swords people. It's an unmistakable look. It's something you can sort of notice from a distance. It's a look of extreme confidence, extreme readiness, extreme presence. It's an aura, an infectious, beautiful aura of mastery that you only get from going through the ringer, from going through and overcoming the challenges. The challenges, as they're happening, it's like, why is my life getting harder? Why am I being so much challenged? This makes no sense. Well, it's because it's working on your energy, and your energy is what is here now to save the planet, to raise the consciousness of humanity so that we can go into a new era. But now it's time to really be that master and step in to that master's role. And then maybe you were going through a lot of extreme challenges not even too long ago. It's because it's time. It's your time. It's my time. It's our time to shine. That's the general collective theme I'm picking up right now. But as I always do, I'll break it down into 5 more specific and digestible themes that'll breathe life and clarity and ground what I'm trying to share with you, because it's a very important new moon. It's a very awesome new moon, and it's a good time, an exciting time to be alive, my friend. And I feel blessed and honored to be here with you, especially in my element back at the Red Rocks. Number 1, I wrote down speaking up and, consequently, epic transformation. A lot of times, our breakthroughs are just on the other side of, for the first time maybe ever, simply expressing what we've been working with, what we've been working through, what we've been carrying. You don't always have to solve your issues or go back and do some kind of, calculated, systematic, perfect healing. A lot of times, it's just a matter of speaking up and letting the cat out of the bag, letting your burdens off your shoulders. That's what we are all here for. We're a social species. It can be as simple as that. I'll give an example. Just this last weekend, I was driving back from Sedona. I had this really awesome retreat with a group of about 20 people or so. And when I'm there at the retreats, I'm like present. I'm almost like a different person because I'm there for them. I'm not really there for myself, and it's beautiful. I like it that way. But because we charge up the energy so much, it does affect me, usually afterwards. So I was driving back home with my assistant, my buddy Josh, and we just had this amazing talk where both of us, for whatever reason, felt extremely comfortable sharing very personal issues that you normally don't talk, especially two guys don't ever talk about, things that you think, things that you might assume other people are going through, but no one ever talks about it. Well, we just talked about it. We were letting it fly. And you know what? Neither of us were solving each other's problems. We were just listening. We were listening with presence and compassion and non-judgment. And we both created that space for one another. And both of us surfaced and finally expressed out so much I've been wrestling with, dreaming about in my mind, things I've been trying to work through on my own, unsuccessfully, finally, without any epic, energetic rush or anything like that. The clouds didn't part. I simply spoke up and released. We both felt amazing afterwards. And I know some of you are thinking, I don't have anyone to talk to. I don't have a Josh in my life. That's okay. Talk to yourself. Journal. Get it out of your system. You don't have to carry it. It's not doing you any good. It's just weighing you down. And you don't have to solve it. Just let it out and see what happens. Number 2, attracting perfectly exactly what you need to transcend your lower self and step into that master's role. You don't have to worry about the how. It'll probably surprise you and come in unexpected ways anyways. Just know that you're that powerful, that it is your time to shine. It is your time to really become that higher octave version of yourself, the you version 2.0. And in whatever way it needs to go down, you're going to attract what you need. I'll give a couple examples. For example, me and my friend Aaron Dowdy, we're in a very similar position. We are thought leaders. We really have a message of transformation that we really want to get out there into the world. But what we're really, really good at is just doing the message, just talking, just speaking, getting it out there, the marketing, all that kind of stuff. We've learned it, but we don't particularly love it. And therefore, we've had to kind of split our energy, not fully step into those master's roles that we are both ready to do. So we attracted this coach, this perfect coach that just fell into our lives effortlessly, that's going to take over a lot of that stuff, that will allow us to free up our time and energy and really expand ourselves, expand our message. That's one way it can go down. It can be a lot more subtle and simple than that. I'll give an example from this beautiful woman at my retreat. She was having a difficult time making it up some of the hikes. And she was feeling afraid. She was sort of blocking herself. And the unique thing about the way we do these hikes, we all kind of help each other naturally. Everyone sort of is tapped into one another and can sense when someone's struggling. And we all kind of help each other. And there was this particular circumstance where there's this, my boy Billy, he reached out his hand, and because she was like unsure, almost like she was not going to go up ahead. And he reached out his hand and he said, "You can trust me." And he pulled her on up. And he said when he spoke those words, "You can trust me," it penetrated deep into her soul. It made her realize that she can trust another human being, that she has been going through this entire difficult life journey all on her own, all by her lonesome. So the realization that she doesn't have to do it alone came in a simple phrase, "You can trust me," from a random guy she met 3 days prior. Okay? This is just, again, one of trillions of different examples of how this can play out, but be on the lookout for exactly what you need to help you rise to that next level. Number 3, stepping into the master's role by choosing to get into the driver's seat, to take control of the wheel of your life. At the beginning of the awakening, there's a lot of following the higher self, following the signs, following the leader. But there comes a point where you don't need to do that anymore, where it's time to actually step in and embody that master's role. And here's the nice thing. It's not hard. It's not daunting. It's actually really easy, and it's actually really fun and enjoyable. I'll give an example. My boy Jordan, he was at the retreat, and we got to talking, and it came to light that he loves to write. He didn't know what he wanted to write or what form it would take, but basically he's been staying in a situation within his life where he's not as happy as he could be. He's not as fulfilled as he could be. And there's a growing sense that something's got to change, but he's waiting for the sign or something for it to change. What the retreat for him revealed is that just start writing. I know you want to know what to write, where it's going to go, how it's going to look. It doesn't work that way. You got to get into the driver's seat and kind of forward your own way. We said just start writing. Start a blog, start whatever, it doesn't matter, see where it goes. And just start writing, not so you can get somewhere, not so it can become your career necessarily, although it maybe can, but because you said you like to write. So what do you like to do that you're not doing because you haven't yet been given the information and foresight of where it's going to lead and how it's going to maybe fit in to the context of your life? What have you been putting off for these reasons? Getting in the driver's seat a lot of times is simply starting to do what you love without the expectation or burden to place upon yourself of where it's going to lead or how it's going to look in the future. Do it for the sake of doing it. If no one watches YouTube videos, I very well might make them anyway, because I feel great when I'm speaking. I feel great when I'm talking to this camera. I like that it reaches people, obviously. And ironically, when you do what you love, usually there is an audience for it. But the point is, it feels good to do it. The whole rest of my day is improved. I'm in an elevated state of awareness after I shoot a video. But there's a shift that has to go down. There is a decision point where one simply stops waiting and makes the choice to step in to the driver's seat and take practical nuts and bolts, human, ordinary action in the direction of what feels good. Number 4, if you can muster up the courage to speak up and put down the weight you've been carrying, if you can choose to step into that driver's seat and start driving in the direction of your dreams in whatever way that resonates with you, then aside from the obvious benefits of both of those things, you'll also step more into the flow of your energy, into the flow of feeling like you're finally in harmony with the cosmos, with the world, with the universe, with God, however you want to frame it. When you're in the flow, you are so supported. And not only are you supported, but you get to experience many signs and synchronicity to show you how tapped in the flow and connected you are. And real quickly, I'm going to share with you kind of a funny one. So I was driving back, as I mentioned, from Sedona with my friend Josh, and he noticed the visor in the passenger seat where I was sitting at the time was busted up. And he's like, what's the problem with that? So I was telling him what happened. So I actually broke that visor like a psychopath a couple years ago when I was struggling to build up my online coaching business, and we were sort of tight on money. We were living in a little RV, and we were up in the northern Upper Peninsula, and we were driving, and I was doing like a consultation with somebody, and it kept cutting out because there's no service up there. And I just got so mad, all the angst built up, and I looked up, and I broke the visor like a total psychopath. And he's like, why do you think that happened? You know, that kind of question. And I started to think for a second, and then what happened is the radio turned to the next song, and the name of the song was Lesson Learned by Alice in Chains. It was like, well, there's a lesson learned. Anyway, for us, it was a very humorous and like totally, in your face type of synchronicity. But by that time, we had our talk and were nicely in the flow. And I, for one, have been experiencing a lot of synchronicity, more so than normal, ever since these past couple things that I've gone through and now have suggested to you guys. So you'll know you're making progress in this regard when you have more synchronicity sort of flowing into your life. Number 5, I strongly feel that for a lot of you, you will experience a breakthrough transformation, a breakthrough experience. Everything, at least in our reality, has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And a lot of us are at the end of the road for a story, a character, a bag of issues that we've been playing out in cycles. We're at the end of that road. Similar to Tim Robbins from The Shawshank Redemption. Hopefully you've seen that. It's a really cool movie. This guy gets falsely accused of murder and he's thrown in jail. And instead of waiting around like all the other jailmates, instead of just accepting his fate, he found a way to finagle a little bitty hammer, a little bitty like pick hammer thing. And every night when everyone's sleeping, he was chipping away. He was breaking himself out of prison, one little tap at a time. What an endless journey that must seem like. 18 years later, he broke through. There becomes a threshold where you've been chipping away and carrying the dirt out into the road, as he was doing in the movie, for years, for almost a lifetime, for decades. But there comes a point where you're down to the last few swings of the hammer, and when you hit that last one and you see that light finally pierce through that little bitty peephole and fill the whole tunnel of darkness with light, with new, it's immaculate. It's that kind of time right now. It's that kind of time because it needs to be that kind of time. We need to be done with this 3D drama. It's time to elevate ourselves above it. Not just for you, and there'll be plenty of rewards and an amazing life as a result of all the transformation you've been going through. It is leading somewhere. You're this close. But it's not even about you. It's not even only about the people. It's about like the planet. We're all connected. You are connected to me. I'm connected to these trees, the rocks, the planet, all the different planets in space. It's all one thing, basically. And by you breaking through, you're shedding light into all of existence, making it that much brighter. And we're living in a very dark place right now, my friends, collectively. And there needs to be little light bulbs flicking themselves on, and that's exactly what you're doing. And it's glorious. It's a beautiful thing. I just see this planet, just lights popping up everywhere, illuminating the darkness, dissolving the karma, elevating ourselves and our planet to a whole new octave, a whole new plane of existence. That's how powerful you are. That's what all this has been leading to. And I know on a deep intuitive level, you know that and you feel that. So keep going. Don't stop with the hammer. You could be inches away from a brand new life and a brand new light. Anyways, my friends, it's always funny to conclude these videos. So that was that. I hope you enjoyed my presentation there. It's always an honor to speak with you guys, because now that I'm really starting to meet a lot of you in person, I'm realizing how special you all are. I'm not just saying that to build you up, to get likes. I mean this. From the depths and bottom of my heart, it's fascinating for me to speak to people like you. You aren't all the same age, you aren't all the same race, you aren't all the same gender, you aren't all the same don't have the same beliefs. You're all extremely unique, extremely different, and yet there's this unmistakable commonality of resonance between us all. This commonality of love and compassion and purpose and passion and desire to help heal and uplift this planet. The light worker vibe you all possess, and I just wish I could hang out with every single one of you watching my videos, because I know how cool you are. I'm finally really getting to know that, okay? So thank you. It's a blessing and an honor to be here for you. Okay, that's it, my friends. Oh, real quick. Hey, if you're new to my channel and you haven't heard, I do give away a free guided meditation that I made myself. Similar to these energy updates, it's a channeled meditation with the sole purpose of helping you get into greater alignment with your higher consciousness, with your higher self. How to learn how to tap into and channel and become an embodiment of your higher self. Okay, the reality is you already are your higher self, but few people actually know that consciously and act as if that's the case. This meditation is designed to help bridge that gap. It's totally free. You can check it out down below if you like. It's at the top of the description box. Secondly, I'll say, I'm finding a lot of people don't realize I have a podcast. Me and my wife, actually, who's also a really cool person who tends to balance me out. She's got a calmer, more mellow, go with the flow type of vibe. And we have this beautiful duet we do every week with our podcast. It's called the Awaken Life Podcast. I'll leave a link down below for that as well. And then lastly, as of the last few months, I've been heavily invested in Instagram because it's a really good vibe there, and it's a great way to connect with my audience and to share my insights I get throughout the day in a more immediate way. I do a lot of stories throughout the day. I post daily content. So if you want more of me and more of this type of information, you can check that out down below as well. And with that said, thank you again, my friends. Have an amazing week. Have a fantastic month. Have a happy new moon, a breakthrough, transformative new moon. And I'll see you all next time. Peace.